Hello everyone, and welcome to Creation is Cool. Today we're going to take a look, or rather a listen, into the world of the bat. You see, bats fly to get from place to place, but they need to navigate in the darkness of night as well. The trick? Bats are able to accurately and consistently detect the speed of sound. How do they do this, you might ask? Well, let's take a closer look.
To navigate the darkness of night, bats use echolocation, which is when a bat sends out a high-pitched signal that bounces off objects around it. The bat then measures the time it takes for the signal to bounce back to it, which tells the bat how far it is from a distant object. Echolocation requires bats to be very accurate and consistent in detecting the speed of sounds. And they are really good at it. Just take a look at that bat go.
But this amazing ability is not one that is learned over its lifetime through experience or from any instruction book. And it's not even learned from its parents. Instead, a bat's ability to detect the speed of sound is innate. That means that the bats are born with this ability. They already have it, even from birth.
Since figuring out the speed of sound is something that bats are able to do from birth, bats are able to navigate their way as they fly through the air at night, even when the air itself is at different humidities and temperatures.
But what happens when the air is not just different in temperature and humidity, but maybe it's different in composition or what it's made of? What if it's no longer just normal air? Air mainly contains nitrogen and oxygen, but what if helium replaced that oxygen? Would the environmental pressures cause bats to change, as many evolutionary scientists would predict?
Those are really great questions, Michelle. Helium is actually less dense than oxygen, which means that the signals sent from bats will travel much faster in air with helium than air with oxygen. So if the air contains helium instead of oxygen, this would cause the bats to lose their sense of direction and distance because the estimates for the speed of sound would no longer be accurate. Thus, their echolocation would be messed up and they would no longer be able to land.
But the really interesting thing is that scientists even have discovered that when baby bats are born and raised in an environment that is rich in helium instead of oxygen, the bats still will not be able to adapt to the helium environment. They are never able to echolocate and travel properly. Even when they are there for their entire lives, they cannot fly and land normally. Remember what we said, that the ability to detect the speed of sound is innate? Well, this means that bats cannot change their innate behavior to echolocate when the air is full of helium.
Innate behaviors such as bats' sound detection for echolocation are very important because they are tailored and tuned for specific conditions, like the oxygen-rich atmosphere of our Earth. This gives us evidence that the environment can't force animals like bats to somehow evolve to adapt and function correctly.
God has given bats their innate ability to detect sound so that they can live and thrive within the specific oxygen-rich environment that He has created and placed them in. In the face of environmental and atmospheric changes, bats likely would have failed to fly correctly and survive. But they are alive and well because God has created bats specifically to thrive and live in the oxygen-filled air. They are equipped for this atmosphere and not for any other.
Genesis 1 verses 20 to 21 remind us of God's intentional hand in creation when it says, "Then God said, let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures and let birds fly above the earth in the open expanse of the heavens. God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And God saw that it was good." As we see from God's word, God made all the animals and saw that it was good. He created them to be well suited for where they live and perfectly equipped for what they do. This is why the bat is so good at echolocation and detecting the speed of sound. We're so glad that you could join us today to learn about a bat's flight, and we hope it has caused you to be in awe of God and praise our Creator for His specific and careful design of creation. Because creation is cool, but our Creator is even cooler. We'll see you next time.
Check out our original lessons by Andy Shee on our website, which is linked below. Also check out our other Creation is Cool videos here.